Hey y'all, welcome and welcome back to my channel. Happy hump day. Y'all are almost to the weekend if you're working hard. Me personally, I've been enjoying my PTO, okay? I have been off since last Thursday and I go back on Friday. So I've been enjoying this week and I'm not looking forward to going back. I'm not even going to hold you. I told you guys that I was going to record my whole moving process on my personal channel. I have relocated to Texas, y'all, from Indiana. It has been great. It has been wonderful. I love it here so far. So all of my Texas girlies, what's up? Let me know in the comments if you're in Texas, if you like Texas, how you like it. But yeah, so we are here and everything is good. I recorded the whole process from Indiana all the way to here and did a house tour. So I will link that in the comments below for those who are interested. I will be back posting remote jobs. I have just been so busy, y'all, but I've been wanting to get content out there, so I'm sorry. Now, today's video is going to be if I would not have listened to my intuition. These stories are really good. I went through a lot of different stories just to pick the best ones that I liked. And y'all know how I feel about spiritual awareness. So these are really good. Go ahead and enjoy the content creators. I will be back at the end.
Okay, so let me tell y'all why it's so important to move when God say move. So back in early 2024, I was dating a guy. And this was a guy that I had known for a couple years. We had previously dated in 2023, but we had broke it off. He had came back early 2024, wanting to date seriously. When he had approached the idea, he said that, that he missed me so much and that, I was so rare and that he never met a woman like me and that he wanted to try again. Now, typically, I don't allow men to come back, but I did allow him to come back. Why did I allow him to come back? Because I actually felt the same way about him. He was so different. He was just such a man. He always made me feel like a woman. And I value that. So I was like, okay, we didn't end on bad terms. So let me go ahead and see what this is about this time, right? So, as we were dating, we decided that we wanted to date for marriage. So just a little bit about him. He was a sweetheart. He was nothing but a sweetheart. Even though we didn't work out, he was an absolute fucking sweetheart. Like, he always loved on me, always took care of my heart, always made sure I had what I needed. Like, every time I turned around, he was making sure I had gas in my car. He always made sure I ate. If it was time to get my hair done, he was paying for my hair. If my son needed anything, he would ask me if my son needed anything. Before I could even say if my son needed anything, he was handing me money. And this is not about the money. It's about him being a provider, about him being generous, about him making sure that I was great, that I was good. He was respectful, loving, caring, good character, integrity. He was a sweetheart to me. He was. Everything was going so good. Everything was going amazing. And I was so happy with him. And then I'm like, all right, God, here I come. Hello. Hi, God. It's me. I prayed to God. And the same night that I prayed to God, I was laying in my bed and I went to sleep and I had a dream that night. And this dream is so, this is key point right here. So, I had a dream, and in my dream, we were at a house party, and in the house party, there was the area where everyone was politicking, and then there was a room where it was like a bedroom, and then in that room, there was a baby laying on the bed. There was a baby laying on the bed in the bedroom, right? Key point. And so in a dream, while the baby was in the room on the bed, I was standing in the hallway. And then while I was in the hallway, I could see him in the other room politicking with this girl. They were talking. They were just conversing. And in the dream, I felt like a lot of jealousy. I felt pain. I felt confusion. Like, why you talking to her when I'm right here, right? And then I woke up. And I didn't really know what to do with that dream at the moment, but I knew that it was God telling me something. For the next week, I had no rest. When I say I had no rest, I had no rest. I had no peace. When I tried to go to sleep, there was no sleep. And I'm a person who I can lay down and I can go to sleep, and I sleep peacefully every night. When I say for a week straight, I didn't have no peace. I didn't have no peace. I was waking up like that. I was waking up and I was stressed and everything was going on. I had no peace. And then I realized that I had to let that man go. God told me I need to let that man go. You need to let him go. And then I was like, I was trying to, bargain with God. Okay, well, can you just make him go? Like, I don't want to let him go. I don't want to let him go. And God just like, nope, you got yourself in this one. So you need to take that strength that I gave you and go let that man know that y'all got to break it off. Right? That's pretty much it. He ain't say all that, but that's pretty much what he said to me. You know, me and God got our own relationship. And so, you know, I ended up breaking it off with him, right? A month later, after me and him had broke it off, I was scrolling on TikTok, right? And I came across this girl page. And on the video, I seen her in his bed. The video was made around the time that me and him were dating, right? Okay, cool. That's one thing. Then, 9 months later, man calls me and tells me that he had just had a baby. He wasn't calling me in excitement. He was calling me in disappointment, right? This is 9 months from the time that me and him had broke it off. He was calling me to tell me that he had a baby. Now, key point, remember in the dream that I told you there was a baby on the bed and he was politicking with a woman in another room. So this was God all along telling me that this man had a baby on the way and that he was dealing with other women while he was telling me that he was pursuing me for marriage, right? And so this is to say that imagine if I would have stayed around. Imagine how much deeper that heartbreak would have been. Imagine how broken I would have been had I would have stayed with this man thinking that we are dating for marriage and he has a baby on the way and he's dealing with other women. And this is the point of this story, is to say, when God tells you to move, move, because you never know what God is trying to save you from. You never know what God is protecting you from. The heartbreak that you feel from leaving was not yours. Imagine staying when God tell you to leave. And now you have to deal with an extensive heartbreak. An extensive heartbreak that could have been avoided at that.
Here's a time that I listened to my gut when it came to my child, and I'm glad that I did. But honestly, why wouldn't I? Like, let's be for real. I was in Hawaii with my husband and my baby. I had one child at the time, my oldest son. He was probably around 11 months, right? So obviously, like, he could walk, whatever, but we would hold him and whatnot. And we went to a luau. Now, this was for my birthday. So we got the luau. We, just got there. We sit down. There is this woman from Australia. She is a older white woman. And she's like, y'all are such a beautiful family. And I'm like, thank you. People say that to young families all the time, so it's not really a big deal, whatever. I said thank you and I kept it moving, right? Okay. So then they were serving food, right? So we had like pineapples, pineapple drinks, chicken, rice, all the things. We ran out of food, so my husband was like, yeah, so I'll go make some more plates for us. I'm like, okay, cool. I'll just sit here with the baby, right? All of a sudden, the lady's like, oh, I'll hold him while y'all go make y'all plates. Girl, mind you, this is a stranger. We have been like sitting next to each other for like maybe 15 minutes. Watch my baby while I'll go make a plate with my husband and I can't see you? What? Okay. So I tell her, no, that's fine. I'm just going to sit here and hold my baby while he go makes the plates. She's like, oh, okay, yeah, he's so beautiful. I would just watch him for y'all. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, no, thank you. Okay. So then they invite the tourists on the stage to do their native Hawaiian dances. Mind you, I'm all for that. So I got on the stage. I said, I'll be right back. I want to be on the stage, right? And just so we clear, when I went on the stage, I left my baby with my husband, and he recorded me while I was on the stage. Okay, cool. Okay, so I come back from dancing on the stage. Everything goes good. I come back to my seat with my husband and my baby, and then we all get up, and it ends. So everyone's walking out. I don't see the lady anymore or whatever, so I don't think anything of it, right? Keep that in mind. I didn't see her after this. So remember this also. When my husband got up to get the food, she asked could she hold the baby. He had already been en route to the table, so he didn't hear her ask me that. Okay. Right. So when we were walking out, I had forgot to tell him that she had asked to hold the baby because I just nipped it in the bud and told her no. And that was that. That was that. It wasn't nothing else to discuss. But I had forgot, but I was going to tell him when we left. Also, the entire luau, she was sitting next to me, so I really didn't care to talk about it, honestly. So as we're walking out, my husband goes, yeah, you know when you got on the stage to dance? She asked me if I wanted to go on stage with you so she could hold the baby for me. And I looked at her and I said, no, I'm fine. I'll hold my baby and I'll watch my wife on the stage dance. Y'all. I said, really? I said, what's so crazy is when you went to go get the food, she asked me, could she hold the baby while we both get the food? So here's my thing. If I told you no, that I was fine, I didn't need your help holding my baby, why would you then turn around and ask my husband the same exact question right after? Mind you, neither one of us knew that she asked us both this question. Come on now. So you know, I'm like, oh yeah, she must be into something. She must be trying to take my baby. I don't know her. I don't know you from a can of paint. And then you don't know me. Why would you be so comfortable with asking me, can you hold my baby while I'm at a distance from you and my child? That don't make sense. You asked twice. Red flag. To me, she could have been someone trying to steal my baby. She could have been into trafficking children. It happens. And that was the time I trusted my gut when it came to my child. Do not play with me. I don't play games when it comes to my baby. I don't even trust people I know. Okay? You think I'm gonna trust you? Be for real. Yeah.
Hi TikTok. It's been a minute since I posted, but I really wanted to share this story after I saw this creator's story and her urge to stitch. And especially, I have a ton of intuition stories, but this one in particular, we're coming up on 20 years since it happened, but I lost one of my childhood friends freshman year of college. So at the time, my boyfriend at the time and I were coming back from the gym on campus freshman year in college. And my childhood friend we were on our way back to my boyfriend's dorm, and my childhood friend was sitting across the street in front of a different dorm, like on the kind of pony wall in front of the dorm across the street. And I don't know, the way the sun was shining on him, that it just felt weird to me. So this childhood friend, like literally my childhood friend, like I know him since the first grade. He was like my first boyfriend. Like our families were like his family, were my neighbors. Like I literally know him since like we were kids. And, like when you walked, his girlfriends didn't like me because when you walked in his house, his dad had put like this huge 8x10 picture of me on their mantle. Like I was one of their kids. So it was like him, his sister, and then me on the mantle. Like I was part of the family. But anyway, I had not done a good job. I will always feel guilty for this. I had not done a good job of like staying connected to him because the boyfriend at the time, story for a different day, was not, he did not like our relationship. So I was not staying in touch with him as much as I should. But that day, on the way back from the gym, I saw him sitting on the wall and the sun was just shining on him. And I stood on the step of my boyfriend's dorm and like waved. I didn't walk up to him. I was going to, but I was like, I just left the gym. I've known him my whole life. Like he's gonna like rag me out for like being funky and sweaty because I just left the gym. And so I like stood on the step and was like trying to like wave him down, like to like wave him down and just like be like, hey, like to get his attention so that just at least to speak to him, right? And let him know that I saw him. But he never did look my way. And I just like felt completely just like, I was like, I don't like it. Like something just in me was like, I don't like it. And I was just fighting that something was like literally like go over there. And I was like, nah, he gonna rag me out for being sweaty, da 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 da. And a couple weeks prior to this, I did run into him, and we spoke for a few minutes, and I told him, be safe driving, put on your seatbelt. And I told him this a few weeks prior. So the day that I see him and the sun shining, like it looked very like heavenly, like the light, was a Wednesday. He died that Friday in a car accident in our hometown, driving home late at night. He was ejected from the vehicle because he wasn't wearing a seatbelt. And to this day, I regret several things. I regret not spending a lot of time with him like I should have because of my stupid relationship. Not the story for a different day. I regret mostly not listening to my intuition to go up to him and hug him and speak to him that day I saw him sitting on the stoop instead of standing there like trying to get his attention. I fully regret that to this day, but I didn't. And he died that Friday, just a few days later. So, yeah, I miss him. I miss you, Reggie.
Okay, so I had the freakiest thing happen to me when I was living in LA. I was living in West Hollywood off of 3rd Street, which if you know Los Angeles, it's a very popular street for bars, really nice restaurants, but also there's a lot of drunks. One day I lived in a really small building, and one day I was going to go throw out the trash in the dumpster in the back. There was this car there that I didn't recognize, and immediately I got annoyed because I was like, this street is going to hell. You know, like one of those. And I just got an immediate intuitive hit that I was like, do not engage with this person. Do not engage, do not engage, do not engage. And I could kind of see out of the periphery of my eye that there was a person, seemed like a man, in the front seat, and their posture was like this. And I just immediately was like, that drunk person is going to wake up with the worst neck ache ever. And like, I was just like, you know what? I don't know what they're on or whatever. Like my surface brain is like, I don't know what they're on. They could be dangerous. I have no idea. Just throw away the trash. But you know what I did is like, I was like, I just knew not to look. I knew not to look. My intuition was like, girl, do not look. What I did, because I'm still me, I threw the trash in the trash can and I slammed the door just to see if they were like a drunk person that was sitting there and then maybe they would get startled by that. No. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna let this play out, whatever. And I went back inside without engaging or really looking. Cut to like 20 minutes later, there's helicopters surrounding my building, like LAPD surrounding my building. And then the cops come. The cops are surrounding my building, like taped off and everything like that, because the man that was back there in the car had unalived himself. Like, boop. And that's why he was like this, because he was not alive. And even worse, he had just come from unaliving his girlfriend, the girl that broke up with him on the street. Pow. And also then her dog, it was her and her dog, unalived them on the street and then drove to my building, which is where she lived when they first met. That's how he knew about the little parking lot, because it's a small building. But I was like, so why our building? That's why. Because when they met, she lived in one of the units. And so that's why he chose to unalive himself there after like, yo, thank God I listened to my intuition, because I know that I would need years of therapy if I had seen that. If I had actually seen it. I mean, I was like, I needed some therapy after that period, but like if I had actually seen it, the you know, I would not. So I thank God that I listened to my intuition.
Okay, so now that you guys have watched the content creators' crazy intuitive stories, I'm not going to do too much commentary. I'm just going to simply say, guys, have spiritual awareness. Spiritual awareness is so important, and y'all know I talk about that a lot on my channel. I even recently just kind of had like a wake up, another spiritual awakening in a sense. Like, I already have been spiritually awoken, but I mean, like, this is a forever going process. Like, you're always supposed to work on yourself spiritually. Your spirit gets dirty easily by music you listen to, TV shows you watch, friends, family that you have, partners that you have. Like, you're constantly battling spiritually. So it's so important to have good spiritual awareness so that you can be on that, clean your spirit, go on fast, like have a balance. You don't have to be a health freak, because I'm by no means a health freak, but like have a balance of food. Like, you know what, I'm gonna go on a fast with no soda for like a month, or no sweets for a month. You know, just have like a balance of things going in and out of your body, that way that you can be on peak when it comes to your intuition. The better you clean your spirit, the better you'll be intuitive to things, if that makes sense. So again, just have spiritual awareness. Always listen to your intuition. If you have any other questions in regards to spirituality, let me know. But I hope you guys enjoyed the content. Remember, my personal channel for relocating from Indiana to Texas will be linked in the comments below. I will see you guys on the next one. Don't forget to like and hit subscribe.